Should start in Twitter, X, whatever.
Yeah, so it should be starting on X.
Okay, I can see
Okay,
it
it
here.
should be online in X already.
Yep, I can see
So
it
let's
here.
see. Twitter.com.
I have my tablet showing the stream.
Nice. So you
So
have the tablet in
that's good.
stream. We are live. Supposedly we should be live in both channels. Oh, this is like okay. I'm gonna have some issues because this is like new browser window. You're not okay. Let me wait. Let me. Oh, I was like sharing my screen, but anyhow. Do you want to do the intro, Mati?
Yeah. So not sure if anybody tuned in, but we're gonna talk for the people that catches the video later on, and if anybody tuned in, welcome. This is a hopefully weekly session that we do. Some weeks things get a little bit busy and we might skip it. But what we're doing is basically Daggerizing the World. Daggerizing the World is an initiative where we have a Dagger, where we basically want to test and understand the tool that we're building to see how well it fits to real world use cases, to understand like what it means to use Dagger as an end user, and to force ourselves to like consistently uh, go through the experience that a newcomer has when they adopt this kind of tool. And we thought that the best way to do that was to grab open source projects with some kind of CI/CD, which most of them have something at least that they want to continuously build, and go through the process of Daggerizing. A few weeks ago, we started with a session for the homebrew repository, particularly the brew CLI, Daggerizing one of their pipelines that was basically using like GitHub Matrix and a few other things. It took a bit to get it working, mostly because like Docker's Bruce Docker build was very, very slow and had a lot of missing opportunity for optimizations. But we did it. The PR wasn't accepted. We didn't expect it to be accepted. It was more like a learning curve. A learning experience. Today we're going to be using a different repository, which I'll let Marcos explain it a little bit better. Um, Again, same idea. We don't necessarily hope for these things to get merged. We're not trying to push Dagger to like every single repository we find. It's mostly about understanding if what we're building makes sense, and streaming is just a way of getting the word out and seeing if people agrees with what we're building. So do you want to go over the project, the thing that we're going to be Daggerizing today?
Sounds good. Thank you, Mati, for sharing. I guess we can go back to the second scene. We can start sharing some screens.
Okay. Do you want to share your screen?
I Yes. Let's switch to my screen.
Okay. There we
Let
are.
me.
Okay. What do
Before
we do?
going to that, I guess we can show a little bit about the brew outcome, which
Mm-hmm.
you were talking about a little bit.
Yeah.
So on the past stream series, as Matthias was mentioning, we basically took a stab at Daggerizing Brew, homebrew the project. The main reason for this is because, as you can see on the PR, uh, the initial GitHub Action pipeline, it was like very copy and paste oriented, very verbose, and there were some things that you weren't be able to run locally. So what we did here is we basically created a Dagger pipeline. It's very simple, actually, like only 130 lines of code. But it was actually very nice. So everything ran in Dagger. You can run it locally the same way in CI and local as well. And we had a long discussion with the owners, maintainers of the project around Daggerizing things. So TLDR is that they didn't end up accepting the PR, mostly because we were introducing a new language to their ecosystem, which is Go. We decided to code the Dagger pipeline in Go because we don't have a Ruby SDK yet. We do have an experiment on the Ruby SDK, but we don't have an official one. But anyhow, I mean, not everything was wasted because they were interested on the benefits that some of the things that DPR addressed, and one of those benefits was using like better caching for their current Docker file. So we ended up like opening up like a follow-up PR where we only introduce the Docker file changes, which are here, which basically improves the process of building this repository multiple times. Like when you're like on your like inner dev loop,
Mm-hmm.
and you make a change, you build the image, and so on and so forth. The original Docker file build was actually taking 6 minutes each time because it wasn't using any caching features of
Yeah.
Docker, and we basically introduced this way of like caching this in a proper sense. So now each consecutive build takes around 20 seconds. We actually showed this on previous streams. But yeah, anyhow, this was the outcome of the homebrew thing. We are very happy with the outcome. We wish the PR was merged originally as it was, but we understand the reasons of the maintainers to not being able to like maintain something that they don't work with usually, and it's a different code base than the project. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's a lesson learned. Hopefully for future Daggerizations, as we are going to do today, we
Yeah.
can overcome these challenges and also incorporate this feedback that people actually give us. Switching back to what brings us to today's Daggerization. Today we're going to be focusing on this really nice tool from our friend Ivan. And to do a little bit of marketing to Ivan, Ivan is the person behind his Twitter handle is Iximus, and he's the person behind a lot of content around how to do things with containers, with Kubernetes, Cloud Native, and so on. But the best part of what he does, besides doing a lot of like cool open source stuff, he actually has this labs platform, right, where you basically have challenges to like learn different technologies, right? So you can learn Kubernetes, Docker, and so on, and you basically have like a sandbox environment. So if you like log in with your account and then you start a playground, then you're basically left in this environment where okay, it's basically initializing, where you can basically play with multiple technologies. It's a really nice way to learn. Yeah, anyhow, check it out, labs.ximuse.com. But again, going back to today's Daggerization, and it's actually very funny, Mati, because I see that Ivan has started to do some Daggerizations already. So we can check what's that about, maybe add some
Okay.
contributions.
Nice.
We're gonna check out this project that is called CDebug. As you can see here, it's a tool. It's a Swiss Army knife of container debugging. It's basically a tool. Like the summary is a tool to troubleshoot containers independently on which environment you're basically running those. So if you're running those in Kubernetes or like Docker or like I think even like Colima is supported. Let me see. Let's see which environments he supports. So, oh yeah, Kubernetes, Containerd, and then Docker, I believe. It's the other. So here, debugging Kubernetes spots, debugging Nerd CTL, which is Containerd,
Nice.
and that's pretty much it, I believe. Published for Forgotten Po. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, basically the idea today is gonna be sorry, my trackpad, I don't know, for whatever reason sometimes gets crazy and then I accidentally zoom in. So today we're gonna take a stab at Daggerizing this. The challenge behind this tool is that it requires a lot of complex infra setup in order to test things. I think it actually has. Well, let's see if it has tests actually, because I mean that's the main thing, right? Because otherwise it wouldn't make sense to Daggerize anything.
Hmm.
Yeah, it has some. So as you can see, it has some actually end-to-end tests,
Okay.
which
Does
are
it have those in the existing CI?
in
So in the
the.
current workflows?
No, he doesn't have anything on the current workflows actually, which is nice. So on his current GitHub workflows, he's not testing anything right now. And the main reason for this is because this is like a smallish tool, so it only has like 1K stars. And yeah, basically he doesn't have like any pipelines. The only thing that he has is Dependabot.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the first Daggerization could be like a very basic build and test. And maybe we can cover one of the end-to-end tests today. I don't know. It depends on how much time that's going to take us. But it should be relatively straightforward, I would assume.
Nice.
If you have any questions about Dagger or like the project that we're Daggerizing or anything around what we do, please feel free to ask in the chat. We can like
Mm-hmm.
switch to Daggerize. This is like an unstructured stream. We are learning and trying to contribute to open source things at the same time. So yeah, looks like I guess we can get started, Mati, and see where this lead us.
Yeah,
So he
sounds
actually
good.
has a CI thing here. So let's first of all let's fork the project. So we are gonna fork this to the organization that we have with Mati that is called Franella here. CDBug. We're only gonna take the main branch. Okay. Okay, we have this here. Cool. So now we can go and check the CI folder, which is what Ivan was actually doing.
Mhm.
If we go to see the main file, we can see that he is already using the build. So he can actually build his tool here, which is nice.
Okay.
And he was trying to do a test, as you can see. So he
Mm.
was trying to start Docker for something,
Yeah.
and then
Imagine, I
he
imagine for one
was
of the Docker end-to-end tests.
probably, and then he was basically running here the Go test
Hmm.
from the base image,
Connecting
and
the
yeah,
services.
and he was trying to install Docker in the Golang image, which is maybe because he needs the Docker CLI. Probably that's why.
Mm. Okay.
So probably like CDBug is actually using the Docker CLI for something.
Hmm.
So let's see if this works actually. I don't know.
Sounds good.
Um,
Yeah. Which version of
so
Daggerize
let's.
is running on?
Good question. We can bump it to the latest one. Let's see. 0.11.2. Yeah, it's a bit
Okay.
old, so we can bump this to the latest one and see how it goes.
Sounds good.
Okay. So let's grab this URL, git clone this. We don't have any questions in the chat. Anything? Okay.
No,
Is the
not yet.
font? Yeah, the font seems to be okay. Okay, we can go to
Yeah, I
CDBug.
can see it in the tablet here just fine.
And then if we do Dagger-m CI functions, we should be able to list the functions that this module is exposing. Sorry for the noise. I'm drinking mate. Probably mate is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, we can do build and test. So let's try to build this first.
Nice.
MCI
Does build return a
build.
container?
That's a good question. Let's see what this actually gives us.
Because I think I saw a file or something.
Unknown command build call.
Oh yeah.
So I can do I can do a
it
lot of
returns a
things.
file. Okay. So the
Yeah,
binary
so this is a file.
that gets
Yeah,
built.
so this is basically the binary. Yeah. So
Okay.
since we are getting the binary, let's do export.
Mhm.
And then path cdbug. So let's see if this builds. Okay, I need to pass the source. Build source. Yeah, this is the
Nice.
directory that I'm in. This is basically pulling Alpine. I would assume this is gonna work because it's like a very simple thing. So it's
Yeah,
as
and
you can
it's
see.
Linux to Linux, so
Yeah, as you can see, it's basically pulling dependencies now. I think we can actually already add an improvement here, which is the cache volume that I don't think is gonna be using that.
yeah, that's a good idea.
So let's. Oops,
We could
sorry for
also
this.
we could also check if like the source is something that we would want to specify in the constructor instead of on each method call, like on each function call.
Yeah, that also makes sense. So as you can see, this finished here. I have a cdbug file here, which is the file that is left. And if I do file cdbug, it's a statically linked Go program, which seems to be okay. So if I do cdbug help, okay, this works as intended, which is nice. What happens if I modify some of the source? Let's modify main.go. Oops, and then I don't know. We have like a full, and we build this again. Does it install all the dependencies from scratch? Let's see. Let's see. yeah, it's, as you can see, it's downloading everything again, which it shouldn't do. And the main reason for this is because Ivan, I'm gonna open the pipeline now. See, I may not go. When he's building this, oh, I need to do Dagger develop, right? So I have all the necessary generated files for this. Okay, I should be good now. Yes. Yeah, I'm good. So as you can see, he's basically building without specifying cache volumes and all that. The good thing about this is that if you use Dagger modules, right, a lot of that complexity is already simplified for you, right? So you don't have to like think about specifying volumes and that. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to use a module here to improve the Go building experience.
Yeah.
So we are going to go to Daggerverse.dev. We're going to find the Golang module here. Golang. And then one thing that I noticed is that we are not returning this sort by last update. So that's something that we need to probably address. So this one was updated on June, 10 of June.
So I know Alex has one that we use internally. Maybe we could look for that one. I think it was.
Let's see, yeah, this one.
Yeah.
But this one was updated like a while ago. That's something. Which one do we use in the Dagger repo? Let's see. Dagger, and then if we open Dagger.json here. So we are using a dependency Go, but the source is Go. We are using our own dependency of Go, actually.
I see.
Which is not. So if you go to dev Go.
So why would the module need to be updated more recently?
Why would someone update it, you mean?
No, like you for example, that one was updated the 3rd of April. Why wouldn't we use it? Why would you consider that like
not a particular thing. Maybe someone added like a new thing on a different module, but I guess we can try this one.
Okay.
We know that, I mean, this user is actually working at Dagger, so we know that this is a good module. Yeah. As you can see, these are all the functions that it exposes. If I go to the module source, I might have like no, I don't have a README. So okay. So in order to use this, I need to run this command, as you can see here. Let me see. Maybe he added like a recent commit here. No, 4 months ago. Seems correct. Okay, so I'm going to copy this here. And then I'm going to run that command, which is going to install the module. I need to do it on the Dagger-m dev CI. I need to do it under the module page. As you can see, it's basically pulling the module. Okay, that's fine. And then if I restart this, the LSP, I should be able to say dag.go. Nice. Which functions should I use? Do I have like a with source or something? How do I pass the source to this? I can call build. Oh, this accepts basically a directory. Okay, and then static. Okay, so I can say build. And then this is gonna accept the source, which is source. And then there's options here. So go build ops. And then I can pass here static, I believe. So we're gonna make this static because Ivan is making that static. And the file name, do I have the file name here? Raise.
Where do you specify the source, or when do you specify the source?
Here on the build function.
Oh,
so as you can see here on the build function, I have the source here as a first argument.
Okay.
And then I can specify
build options, subdirectory in which to place a build artifact. Okay, that's interesting.
And then build flags. What does this return? A container? No, a directory. Okay. And then I could pass build flags, I would assume, which is an array of string.
Nice.
And then we can pass -o cdebug, I would assume. And then this is going to return a directory. And then from that directory, we are going to get the file cdebug. Let's see if this is equivalent. So we're gonna return this, and then I can comment that. Okay, pam pam pam.
So the CGO disabled. Can we specify that?
Oh, that's a good thing. Let's see. No, it doesn't seem like.
Field flags. Are
Oh
returning
yes, static. Static basically.
Oh,
To
enable CGO.
enable.
Okay, 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 okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Whether to enable. Okay, so static should be the thing. Okay, let's run this. Okay, let's see how it goes. It should be doing a similar thing regarding should be pulling the dependencies now.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, it's using Golang 1, which is the latest version of Golang. You can also parameterize that. It's building with the flags. I don't see the output of GoGet though. That's something weird. Oh, there it is.
Ah, there we go.
It was taking a little bit. Yeah, it was probably pulling an image.
Yeah.
So let's see if this uses a cache volume. I mean, I'm sure it does, but I don't know if we need to like specify it by default or if it by default uses it. So if we go here,
mod cache, build cache. Okay.
so it says here that you have an optional mod cache, but okay, if you don't have a cache, it's gonna use like a default for you. So that's good.
Yeah. So
yeah, as you can see here.
What does it mean to send like a cache volume via a parameter? Is it just like a string? Is it like the name, or where is it sending? Like if I do a Dagger call where I specify the mod cache, is that something that from the CLI I can specify, or that's only for programmatic calls?
You can do both. So you can specify it in the CLI if you want. As you can see, okay, so this failed, but let's check this in a minute. So if I do build now, well, I don't have the cache volume here, right? So in this case,
in this case, it's programmatic.
Yeah, because it's not an argument of the main function. Yeah, and you can actually pass it here on the Go constructor, basically arguments.
Nice.
So it basically said that it couldn't find cdebug. Okay, this is interesting because I'm actually printing the file here. So let's do something. Instead of like returning the file, let's return.
So there's if you go into Go build opts, if you look at the structure.
Oh, this is a check this out, Mati. So it's already using a -o here. So it's I'm basically specifying -o 2 times, right?
Yeah, and if you go to the Go build options, if you go to the structure, there's one particular field that's called subdirectory, subdir, and it says subdirectory in which to place the build artifacts. So we could specify that one if we want, or just grab it from out. And
that's fine. But what I want to do is like, since this is already specifying the -o out, how can I name the binary that is getting produced of the Go build? That's my question.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Because I can't really use the build flag because it's already being set by this -o here.
Could you look at the usages? Like if we go to the modules code, could we look at the usages of subdir to see if that's configurable in some way, like setting it to some value or something?
So subdir. So if subdir is not empty, it's gonna basically, I guess the problem is that it has this hard-coded, see?
Okay, yeah, I see.
So it doesn't allow me to specify my own binary name. Having said that, the Go binary name is usually the name of the directory that you are standing on, right?
Yes.
So in this case, or is it the name of the module by default?
I think it's the name of the module.
Of the Go
if
module,
it's
right?
like a top level.
So let's remove this.
If it's like a top level binary, but if it's like if you have multiple mains in like a CMD folder, for example, I think it defaults. What does it default to? I don't remember. We can test.
So let's do this. Instead of like returning a file, let's return a directory here, which is what this actually returns, right? And then we can do the same Dagger code, but instead of like export, we can do entries. And this is basically going to show everything that gets stored in that directory.
Nice.
Okay, cdbug. Okay, we have this. Nice. So we can get the file, not with file, sorry, file, cdbug now, and then return a file as it was before. So this should be working now. And as you can see, oh, well, I didn't modify. Oh, yeah, actually I did. Okay, so it's now I have the same file. Perfect. This works.
Nice.
And as you can see now, if I go to main and I modify this as I did before, and I run the, oops, I need to save it. What happened? Where's my, okay. My Beam is complaining for some reason. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Something crazy. Okay, if I save this, error detecting, processing go. Yeah, my Beam is like acting crazy. Let me close this file. The main.go. Okay, yeah, okay. If I save this and then I go to the Dagger call and then running this again, it's not gonna download the dependencies again as it did before, right? Because this is using a proper module that is using cache and all that. Okay. So we have this covered.
Nice.
Do you want to take over, Matthew, or do you prefer me to continue?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me commit this in that case. Let me create a branch. Feed Daggerize. Commit this, and then I guess we can commit this CI go Daggerverse module. Git push, and I can do this. Sometimes, man, my machine is like, the trackpad is working very, very bad. Sometimes I cannot click, I need to tap. Crazy. Yeah, it's a 3-year-old machine.
The crazy thing is that you're using a trackpad. Not that the trackpad doesn't work correctly.
Yeah, like, yeah, mouse are not good for me. Let me see if I mean, there's someone watching in YouTube. I don't know who that person is. So welcome.
Probably me.
Oh, so it's you.
Yeah, I have the
Nice.
2 streams here. Yeah.
Okay, that's why. Cool.
Nice.
So
Pushed.
now that we have this here, it's already pushed. So I guess you can switch
Okay.
to your screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch. Let's see if it shows up. Does it work?
Yeah.
Does it not
Seems
work?
to be okay. Let me see. Yeah.
There we go.
Now I need to switch to your
there
screen.
I can see it. Okay. Nice. So I'm going to clone cdebug. This one right here. Let's go into cdebug. Let's not leak anything in the middle. And what's the name of the branch?
Feed slash Daggerize, I believe.
Daggerize, like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it tracking? No. Let's git pull origin fit Daggerize. Yeah. Okay. So if I go to CI main.go, yeah, I have it all. Okay. So when you clone a repository, usually at the beginning, you're not going to have like the LSP or whatever integration you're using work correctly because the generated code isn't there. For example, in this case, it's telling me, hey, like DAG doesn't exist. That's a generated object within the Dagger Gen Go. What you can do is you can say Dagger develop. You can specify the module CI. That's going to run basically the entire code gen process, and it's going to leave in your machine all the things that you need in order for the LSP to work. So if I reopen it and I go back to CIMain.go, now it should work. And if I go to definition, I can see the Dagger Gen Go right below here. So we have autocomplete. Okay, nice. So I'm going to remove this because we no longer need it. Okay. And we're going to focus on test. Are we going to do like Docker test first? So if I go to
yeah, let's try to do Docker first today, and
internal exec Docker
maybe
test.
you can try running the test locally in your machine first.
Exactly. So what does this do? Test exec Docker simple command, and this needs the cdebug engine. Okay, so what I can do is I can say Dagger call -m ci. We want to say build, and this was a file, right? So export path cdebug, but this needs the source. So I want to do source like that. Okay. So this should
Nice.
download the cdebug, and then I can see if I can test like the exec docker simple command.
Also, it's okay. These are end to end, so it's actually running the cdebug binary as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm downloading it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This says run command, wait on command. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay, so I
Nice.
don't have the cache locally because we're not using yet distributed caching. So it's going to recompute everything, recompute the go get, and I should have the cdebug, and I do. Okay, so now we're going to run go test. Let's say like test. Okay, let's say run test exec docker simple command, and this is in end-to-end exec, I think. Yes, end-to-end exec. Okay. Sudo. Why? What's going on?
I mean,
What's
he
going
was
on?
installing sudo on the pipeline, so why is he requiring
Okay, so
sudo?
this
Oh,
runs sudo docker with sudo docker run.
why do you need sudo docker
Okay.
run? That's weird.
Yeah.
Is this in the test or in the
In
cdebug
the
itself?
test. In the test of cdebug, not in the binary. So here, right here. Can you see
Okay,
this?
you're in the test.
Yeah.
Sudo dash, yeah, why do you need sudo, Ivan? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Uh,
Container.
that's a good
Maybe it
question.
does
I mean,
some like
I understand if you are installing Docker the first time and then you don't have the groups, the Docker
yeah,
group.
maybe you don't want to configure like all the
Yeah, but I mean, I guess we can remove this if we are doing Dagger to test this, right? Because with Dagger we can actually set it up in a way that we want. So I mean, me personally, I wouldn't run this test locally if you're asking me to
yeah,
allow you to
exactly.
actually run sudo.
Like
So
I don't want to put my password here and just run it. I would
yeah,
rather just go with the daggerization and see if we can get it working there. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you can just remove sudo in this case because you already have Docker
Let
authenticated,
me
so it should
see.
work for you.
Yeah, let me see which other commands is running because there's a few things. This
I mean,
is operator. Okay, this
this
is
is why
good.
Dagger is very useful because
Command
when you run Dagger,
doesn't do anything. Yeah.
everything
Okay.
runs in containers. So
Okay.
you reduce the risk of allowing someone to actually run untrusted code in your machine or maybe messing up with like stealing credentials or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even if we are not running sudo, because you are shelling like execing into Docker, you can still do a lot of harm because Docker runs as a privileged process in the user's machine.
Yeah.
You can still like run a privileged container, mount the host file system, and then you can mess up whatever you want there. Of course, we trust Ivan because we know he's a known user, but that's one of the other benefits that Dagger actually gives you, which is
Mm-hmm.
security out of the box because of the containerization.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways,
Okay, so let me do path. Let's do like home code cdebug. Boom. Let's see if it works there. Okay, so what does this do? The Docker simple command. Let me see. Let me go
what did you
back
run?
to
Did the
the
test?
end.
Did the test pass?
It did, but I'm not sure what it did, so I'm going to look at this. Okay, so
And
it runs
which test did you run? All of them?
this one right here. So this one that I'm looking at, the test exec
Oh, I
Docker
see.
simple
Okay.
command. So it runs a Docker run of nginx, it seems. So it sends the nginx image over to here. This one receives the image, the flags, and the argument, and it just runs that Docker run that we just saw.
Yep.
And then it runs a cdebug exec remove target ID, which is going to be, I assume, the container ID.
Yes, seems like.
Okay. So I
No, it's
imagine
not
that
remove.
cdebug
Is
execs like containers and then
is it
removes the
RM or
container itself,
RM?
right? No, it's RM, but I think that I imagine that this is going to create another container that then gets removed, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Um, in fact, if I delete this and rerun it, I will probably see
yeah, the
uh,
container. Yes, you're
docker
right.
ps-a
Yeah, the
3 seconds
thing.
ago,
Yeah, yeah.
muscle. There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
So it didn't remove it. And if I add it again, so if I remove everything myself, I remove the cd bug, that one. I add back the remove. I come here, go test it, do a docker ps-a, and it doesn't exist. So yeah, it created that PC box container.
Since we are already
Nice.
have the stream, Mati, let me do a quick recap about what we're doing.
Yeah, let's go.
This for anyone that just tuned in. This is called Daggerize the World stream. Matthias, I, myself, we both work at Daggers. We are software engineers here, and we're basically showing how Dagger can help you basically improve your CI/CD process of your tool, of your project, of your whatever you're working on. Uh, we already did a session like 2 weeks ago on Brew, Homebrew, basically the project. Now we are taking a stab on a difficult, sorry, not difficult, on a different angle, which is CDBug. It's a tool by Ivan, which is someone very, very experienced on the Docker and Kubernetes community, which is a tool that allows you to troubleshoot containers universally, independently of the platform. And we initially we improved the like Ivan already started Daggerizing some things. So like the first half of this stream, we basically improved how we were building the Go application. And now Matthias is starting to Daggerize the tests, which basically require, we are starting with the Docker tests, which require a Docker engine. So yeah, basically that's a summary of
Nice.
what we have been doing. If you have any questions or anything, just feel free to leave them in chat and we can chat about it.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So what if we run that simple docker exec command in a Dagger container? Just that one specific execution. So we'll have to like mess around with some of this, and maybe we can get that one for Docker running here.
Yeah, totally. Let's try to
Nice.
see if we can. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So based on what he did initially, in this test function, it's receiving the directory, which makes sense, and it's receiving a Docker service and a container D service, which I'm not sure exactly like why he went with this approach.
I think
Uh,
he was passing the Docker service on his local machine when he was testing this for some reason.
so how do you pass like a Docker service in your local machine? So if I do a Docker call here and I want to call
You
to test, I do source. How would I do
so,
Docker?
you have it there on line 3 on top of
This one right
like
here.
above the line. Yeah. So you do that basically. So you need to expose Docker to listen on TCP on your local
Okay.
machine. I mean, this is not the way that you would do it generally. You would
Yeah.
start Docker inside Dagger, but maybe he was doing it this way for some other reason. I don't know why he wasn't starting Docker within the pipeline.
I mean, there is some logic here that is trying
Yeah,
to start it from scratch.
yeah,
We could test it and see like what we
yeah.
will find.
I would go that way
Yeah.
because I don't see why we would have to run it from your
Yeah.
local
I
machine.
wouldn't want to
Maybe
at least
maybe
initially
he
share
wasn't.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Ivan wasn't able to make it work in the using services for some reason. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
we
Yeah.
like a bug in Dagger, or maybe like he didn't know how to make it work. So we can try that
Nice.
way.
Okay. So we know that for this test, we don't need container D. So we're going to ignore all the container D stuff.
Yeah,
So I'm
sounds good
going
to
to
me.
remove all of this. We have it on Git, so we don't really care. I'm going to remove this. And let's start. I'm going to comment this out. And boom. Let's start right here. And let's actually build it. So he was actually using the file that's already built here, but let's like do it like a full Daggerization. So let's call
Yeah.
Dagger test and let's actually build it there. We know that caching will take care of not redoing something that we already did in this case. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so we have we have the CD bug, and then what we need is a Go container that has Docker running, the Docker CLI installed, and we already removed the sudo, so we don't need to specify that. I think
Yeah.
I'm not sure how we're going to configure the CLI.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So
That's fine. So we can use
uh,
Docker Dean. That's fine.
yeah, the Docker din, like if I do docker run dash it docker din and I do like bin bash, doesn't this already have the Docker CLI installed?
Yeah,
Couldn't
yeah.
we
You already
copy
have
it
Docker
from
CLI.
here?
like I mean, for the Golang image, I would just uh,
Okay, pin
yes, you can
essentially.
copy it from
So
there if you
here's
want.
here's what I'm thinking. If this is based on the same like underlying base image, so let's say Alpine, what we could do is we start this particular like container, we get the Docker CLI from there, and then we just mount it to a plain Golang engine, and we set the Docker host environment variable. If
Yeah,
we do that, we
you
should be
can
able
totally
to
do
connect
that
everything, right?
as long as both images have the same underlying OS, right? If
Yeah,
they both need to be Alpine or Ubuntu or whatever, which I don't
yeah.
know
So we
what
can
they
do
are.
an inspect, right? Can I
Uh,
do inspect?
I don't think really. I mean, we need to probably go in the container and see the etc folder, what
Okay.
version we can find there.
What was it? System info. What
Oh,
was
there
the?
you can see Alpine release. So
Oh,
this is
Alpine
Alpine.
release. Okay, great. Yeah, amazing. Done.
So we need to use the Golang Alpine image as well.
Yeah. Okay. So this one, uh, what
I
does
don't
it
know which
use?
one this is using. I
Yeah.
think this is using Golang 1, which I don't think it's using Alpine. I think it's using Debian or Ubuntu by default.
Okay, but we can set
Image,
a
yes.
custom image, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
So if you go to the Daggerverse module,
I am actually doing that. I don't think people are going to see that because I wasn't able to share like specific windows.
okay.
But
Well, yeah, we are still stuck in your terminal. That's what.
yeah, exactly. I'm looking at the code to see like how we can specify it. There's a from version function that we can do right here. So we can say go, and we can say from version, and we can
Nice.
specify a version right here. So we can say this is actually
One
just the
dash
tag.
Alpine, maybe.
So we can do like 122 Alpine.
That seems right to me.
Okay, nice.
Let
And
me check
then
if that is a valid version. I think it is, but just in case.
yeah, nice. So we start from there. Nice.
Yes, that's correct.
Great. So we build
Yeah,
this,
one to
and
two
now
Alpine.
we
Yep.
can start a container. And I think that what we can do is do this thing again. We can get like 122 Alpine, and I think there's a container function. Isn't there? Container base. I think it is. Yeah, there you go. Base.
Yeah, you have a base.
So
Yeah.
this returns a container that should have like go install and all that stuff. So let's start from there. So let's say go
Sounds good to me.
base. Nice. What do we want to do here? So let's actually do it like this. We want to mount the file. So we want to say with file. Let's go into
User
app
bin
like
maybe.
cdebug, something like that.
I would put it on. I would put it on user bin or like
User
something in the
bin.
path.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Oh, right,
then
because it was
yeah,
looking at yeah.
yeah,
Good point. Nice. So we have the file. We want to mount the directory, and let's say like app cdebug, and let's say source. Let's move directly to app. Don't really need to do this, but I usually like to do it more for context. And now we need to connect this with a Docker in Docker service. So let's
yes,
actually start that. I don't think we need to do like all of this. We definitely need to do the host because
yeah,
we want like TCP.
yeah. We need TCP for now. Mhm.
So I'm gonna thank you very much, Ivan. I'm gonna steal all of that. And with
No
mounted
questions
cache,
in chat so far. So
well,
yeah,
it would be cool to have like a Docker volume cache actually.
we need a volume cache because of
So
the
let's do that.
overlay. So we need a volume cache basically,
Okay, nice.
which
Let's
is
do like
var leave docker.
volume. Um, oh no, here it has like a run.
No, you need var leave docker.
Oh, you mean for like the all the layers and all that stuff?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And let's say docker live, and let's remove this one because I'm not sure
Yeah,
what
we don't.
it's
We
supposed to
shouldn't
do.
need the run,
Yeah.
by the way.
Okay, so we want the host. I don't know why we want
We shouldn't have to
the Unix
specify all the.
socket.
Yeah,
TLS
TL.
false. Okay, IP table false.
It should be false by default, so
Okay,
we should
let's
remove.
remove it and then let's see what happens.
Yeah,
Insecure root capabilities. We do need this
yeah.
because it's the Docker daemon, and we get
Hmm.
the service. Nice. Once we have this, we can do right here. We can do with service binding, and we can say Docker and add Docker right there, right?
Yep.
We can add an environment variable that's Docker host, and that's going to be TCP
Docker.
Docker, and
Yep.
then 2375. So
Yes.
do you want let's quickly explain what we're doing right here for
Hmm.
someone that's for someone that's not very familiar with. I hit my face with the mic. For someone that's not super familiar with how Dagger services work, there are some similarities to what you can do with Docker Compose. Basically, what we're doing here is we're creating a container that is going to have like Docker in Docker. It's going to like basically expose the port, run this command, do all these things. And then we're directly connecting that container with this new container we're creating here from the Go image. And we're making the container accessible through the Docker namespace, basically the Docker DNS name. What Ivan did here when he basically specified dash dash docker and then he sent a local port, so a port running on his host. This is also something that Dagger does internally for you, and it's basically tunneling, like doing like a reverse tunneling from your host to the actual container. You can also
Yep.
do it the other way around, so you can tunnel from the container to your host, so that from your
Hmm.
host you can actually access it. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, for now we're just doing it internally. We won't care about accessing Docker. Um, we won't even care about accessing cdebug because there's no API that we want to run. We just want containers like connected and then just execute the command. Um,
Right.
nice. Now, what we also need to do is we need to get the file. So let's do something like this. Let's say Docker. Let's remove this. Let's say Docker CLI, right? And let's say Docker file and get it from, we know that it was in which Docker user local bin. Okay. So we want user local bin Docker. We want that particular thing. Then we also want to add the file. Let's also add it to local so that we keep the same path. Let's say Docker and then add the Docker CLI. Nice. And we have the Docker container with the Docker CLI. And now here we need to do Docker as service. Good. So we have the Docker CLI. We have Docker in Docker connected. It's listening on TCP. We have the Docker host, so we should be able to connect to it. Do you want to do a quick test and do like a Docker run hello right here? We can do like
Uh,
with
what I
exec to
would do
see
is
if
I would
everything is
return the
connected.
I would return the container and we can do a Dagger terminal thing.
Nice. That's a good idea. So basically return this. Let's remove all of this. We don't really want it. And let's do a return right here.
So basically, we
And
can
what we
show all
want
the
here
magic, all the
is
Dagger amazingness.
a container. Nice. So what you're saying is that what we can do basically is we can call the test function, we specify the source, and then this returns a container, which if we do dash dash help, I think it was, or functions. No, I think dash dash help. Yeah.
No, help is gonna work. Yeah.
We should see basically this is going to look very familiar to you if you pay close attention because you're going to be able to see that, for example, with mounted cache right here on the left is going to show up right here. So basically each command that you can do when you go here, like if I do dot and I start looking for environment variable, service binding, each of those things is going to be available here through the CLI. So what Marcos was referring to when he said terminal is this one right here, which is basically, hey, give me like an interactive terminal so that we can go and basically like let's quote and say SSH into the container and see what's going on. So what I was thinking initially was to do like a with exec right here and do like a Docker run. But with what Marcos is suggesting, we're going to do that ourselves. We're going to exec into the terminal and then run the Docker run with our own bare hands.
Yeah. As you can see, the Docker engine is starting now. And the one of the nicest things about Dagger services is the fact that they do health checking automatically.
Nice.
So basically, they're gonna wait for the service to start, and then when the service started, by doing a probe on the port that you specified, it's gonna basically continue the execution of the pipeline.
Nice.
So as you can see here, it already started. It says container is successfully started. It's
Yeah.
listening on 2375. For some reason, it is not continuing, but let's
No,
wait a little
kind
bit.
of stuck there.
Uh, this seems to be okay. Okay, access
When
to the
it's a
remote
with
API.
exec, does it matter that it's a with exec and not with entry point?
No, that's
Shouldn't,
fine.
right?
No, it should be with exec. That's fine.
Okay.
And then it's stuck there for
Okay.
some
Let me
reason.
look at the logs of the engine. See
No,
if
it
we
should be
can
fine.
find something.
Should be okay. I don't
Container
see anything
done. Go
weird
build
there.
init docker d. Okay, so it created this container.
HTTP.
Porting bind container done.
Can you run
Container.
the Dagger
Okay,
call with dash v? Maybe we can see. We
I
should be
can do
able to
that.
see
Yeah.
the Dagger probing basically the service.
So Dagger call top level dash v.
Yeah. So we should see a similar thing now. Okay, listening support for listening on TCP without
That's
authentication.
interesting. So it's gonna be off by
Yes,
default, the TLS
it's going
one,
to be removed
or
on the next release.
yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, now it's listening.
I saw a TLS false log at the top, which I'm not sure if it was saying that by default it's on, um, but I don't think so.
I think it's off because, and
So
even if it is
TLS
on, use
imply
TLS.
by
Yeah.
TLS verify.
So even if it is on, are we missing something?
So dash
It
V
should
didn't
still be.
really gave us much. Did I do things correctly?
Yeah, try maybe doing. Yeah, yeah. It actually gave us a bit more, but try doing like VVV multiple times. Like I think up to 3 times you can actually specify it. What I want
Okay.
to see is that you generally see when the Dagger engine starts probing the port, which
Mm-hmm.
says, okay, I'm doing like a port health check, whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's pulling the Alpine image. So seems like it is continuing. No, it's waiting for the service at this point. But I don't see the port probing for some reason.
Hmm.
So maybe
Or
what we can
doing
try,
the
Mati,
exposed port.
I think that when you do like a with exposed port, I can't recall where exactly you can specify not to wait on the health check. Maybe it was an argument of that function.
Okay, let's see. Container uh, with exposed port options. This one.
Yeah,
Okay, what does it have? Protocol description, experimental
yeah.
skip health
Experimental
check.
skip.
Okay,
Let's try that for
we can
now.
try it. Experimental skip checker, true. And let's see.
Okay. So yeah, maybe that's gonna allow us to continue.
Yeah, file C debug. I think it moved on.
No, but it's stuck on the same place, I believe, right?
Oh no, this one already executed it.
Wait, with exec.
From version base.
Maybe that's why Ivan wasn't able to make it work because he ran into
Yeah,
the same situation that we are running ourselves
without
into.
encryption, direct access, refer to a Docker daemon attack surface. There will be a hard failure preventing the daemon from
So
starting. Okay.
why? Maybe it's not very friendly with the terminal thing. Can we try
Okay.
like
Yeah,
the other
I can
approach that
do.
you were doing? Yeah, maybe doing
Yeah.
a
Let's do
with
with
exec.
exec and let's do string docker info.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And let's return the container. Yeah, that's fine. And now
Yeah,
here we're gonna do standard out.
it's strange because I remember
Okay, I'm gonna
making this.
reduce the logs because it's getting very confusing,
Yeah,
and it
let's
goes
go
very
back to the
quickly. So people in the stream might not be able to understand what's going on.
understand. Yeah, so let's go back to the original thing. Okay, now it's waiting on the. Well, but we specified
This is
this
still starting
keep.
though, but it doesn't seem to be like trying to skip it in any way.
Oh, I think I know what could be happening, Mati. Could you, in the with exec, can you also specify to skip the entry point? Because the image, the Docker
There's
image
no
has an
entry
entry
point
point.
here. We're removing it
Oh,
right
there's a
here.
without entry point. Okay, I see. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So it already started, but for
Which
some
is
reason
yeah.
it's not. Do you have the latest Dagger version in your machine?
Yep. 0119.
Okay. Everything seems right to me. So what we can do now?
Let's see if there's like a Daggerverse Docker in Docker module. Maybe this is like somebody already faced this and
Yeah,
knows
there
how to
is for
fix it.
sure. I'm starting to wonder if this is like a Dagger maybe mishap or something with the
Mm.
Docker in Docker module.
Yeah.
Why would it be?
So there is a Docker module from Solomon, last updated the 12th of March. It has like a Docker function, an engine function that returns a service. So we could test that one.
Let's
We
see
have
the
a
code. Maybe
CLI.
we can spot something that we are missing on our end. Let's check the code really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the terminal is not continuing. So when he
So engine returns without an entry point. Perfect. And the mounted cache. Okay.
it's
Host.
2377, he's using TLS faults, right? So
He's
maybe we
using
can try
TLS
that
false. Yeah. Let's try adding that one, and
just for
let's
the sake
see
of, yeah,
if that one.
for the sake of like trying things.
Yeah. TLS false. Okay. Let's see if that thing works. Now call.
That would be surprising if this works, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe you need to do it for some reason.
It just gets stuck there. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't seem to change anything, right?
Yeah. So I don't see any. We could
So
try
it's
not
related
specifying the
to.
volumes, like the cache volumes, but I fail to see how
No,
that
I
would
don't think.
affect.
What's weird is that I'm not seeing the health checks running for some reason. So
Yeah, we should see right here logs saying like
yeah, can
it
you try
failed, it
adding
failed, it
the,
failed, and
instead of like dash v dash dash debug,
sure thing.
and then with exposed port. Okay, I see. Yeah, okay. Let's see if this prints something new. No, so the
Stuck there.
Docker finishes to initialize.
Could it be the insecure root capabilities that might be messing with something?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. And then experimental skip health checks. True. No, you know what I think it could be happening is that I think there might be. Can you try removing mounting the Docker binary? I think there might be like a deadlock because you are using a file from a service container that
Uh-huh.
doesn't finish. You can't really get a file from that afterwards.
Okay.
That,
Yeah,
that is
we can
my
try.
my yeah, that is my hypothesis here.
Docker info should fail, but that's good enough. Yeah. No, so
Yeah,
far directory.
that was it, right? Yeah,
It
yeah. So
moved on. Okay.
the,
So
the
what
problem
we
is
can
that,
do is this. We can do
yeah, you
this
can't really
right
get the
here,
file exactly.
and then we can do that, and we can do Docker equal Docker, and then do that, right?
What are you doing?
So I remove the with exec.
No, it's gonna be the same because this is all happening lazy, right? So it doesn't matter if you do it before. You're only gonna get a reference to the file. The service is gonna start, but then when you try to
So I
fetch
can
the
sync
file,
it, right?
but
I
no,
can say, hey,
you can't sync on a file.
yeah,
You can?
yeah,
Okay, in that case, it might work. Yes.
okay. Let's return an error. I can sync there. Let's say go, and then let's return an error
I
here.
don't know if this is gonna work. Let's see.
Yeah, we can try. Boom. Probably gonna fail. The Docker info is gonna fail if it works because we're not gonna wait for the engine to be up.
Oh, nice.
Cannot
Yeah, it
connect.
worked.
Okay, so
Okay, cool.
let's remove the experimental health check. Let's go back to this. Right, that. We want it to wait, so let's do it again. See if it works.
Cool.
And
Nice.
I'll stop here and let you connection
Oh,
refuse.
now you
Connection
can see
refuse.
connection
Yeah.
refused here. That is
Okay, hold on.
nice.
Okay,
We got it
nice.
working.
There we go. Okay. Do you want to do like a quick change to include Solomon's module and remove all of this, or
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it for today. We are almost about
yeah,
the time. I would try
yeah,
to make the test pass, and
sounds
can we
good.
show really quick the terminal thing, Mati, so
Yeah,
people can
yeah.
see it?
Let's do that. So I'm going to remove this one. Add the nil. Do the dagger call. Say
So
terminal.
just to clarify, what was
Remove the
happening
debug.
before is that we were actually getting a file from the service container, but the problem was that because the service container actually never stopped, right? Because it's a long-running service, the file couldn't be fetched, right?
Yeah.
Because in order for that to happen, you need the container to actually stop what it's doing.
Nice.
So yeah, there was like a deadlock that we were accidentally introducing to the whole thing.
Hello world, was it? The default image?
Yes, I think so.
Hello world, there we go.
Nice. And now we have, yeah,
Nice.
as you can
Call from
see,
Docker.
Matthias.
Without sudo. Let's go.
So if you run now, so it's funny because you should be able to run the go test manually here and see
I
what
should.
happens.
Yeah. Go test dash run. Test. What was it? Go test. There we go. Test exec docker simple command. And let's do end to end. Okay. Oh, sorry. Cdebug. There we go. Cdebug. Now we can do
Yep.
go test dash run test exec docker simple command, and let's do end to end exec. Okay.
Okay, it's downloading Go. That's fine.
Yeah. If we use cache volumes like across, this shouldn't be happening again. But we're not using, I think, here.
Yeah, we are using the Go module, so should be okay, right?
Oh, that's right. We're
Oh,
using this.
the test passed. Cool. So we have a
Nice.
test working, Matty.
Okay.
Nice.
So let's do something. Let's do the same thing so we can show the same results. So let's go to exec docker test, and let's remove the remove. Right. Let's run it again.
Okay. Also, you can see the container.
So we can see that, yeah, it did
Yeah,
what it's supposed to do, and we're not lying
nice.
to the people.
We're not lying to the audience here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, so I'm gonna go to C debug. I'm gonna do go test dash run test exec docker simple command and do end to end exec. Okay, we need to later on look at why it's actually re-downloading the things. And here we go, PC box
Nice.
muscle. There you go.
Nice.
Nice.
And that is happening everything within Dagger. So you're not basically
Everything within Dagger.
messing up with your local machine or anything
Yeah.
at all. Nice.
Nice. So I'm going to commit this stuff. And let's say working live.
Wait, we are still missing the go test in the test function, right?
Oh yeah. Not really important, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So instead of like, yeah,
So
now we need
let's
to do
do
the
right
with
here
instead. Exactly.
with exec, and then let's say go string. This actually we don't want. And I've gotten into the habit of not returning not returning a specific thing. So I always return a container because this it gives you the ability to like
Yeah.
quickly do whatever you want. You can always do like standard out from the Dagger call. What I
So
could do here is like call standard out and then return string and an error.
generally, what I do, Mati, is that
Yeah.
I return a custom type, like a test result. I
Mm-hmm.
define a new type that is like a struct that is called test result, and that in that struct, I basically have the container. So if the user can specify to fetch the container if they want, or they can have the standard output basically.
But what is the difference to having like using just std out?
It's the same thing. It's basically like a convenience because if you do like help on this output, then you're gonna get a bunch of things that
Oh, it's
you
to
need to
reduce the
care.
noise of the
Yeah,
things that would
exactly.
be
To
useful.
reduce the
Okay.
noise. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So let's do Dagger call and let's do standard out.
Nice. So that should run the Go tests, and we should be good to go. Okay, starting the engine. I don't know why it's pulling the dependencies
Nice.
each time.
Yeah, we need to look into the maybe this here is not doing things correctly with the module. Like maybe by not
Yeah, I mean, it's
specifying
okay.
it, or yeah, doesn't
We can
look
check it
right.
out
But
afterwards.
yeah, nice. Okay, now yeah,
Um,
it worked, and I can recommit
nice.
this and say amend,
Let's do
and we'll git push.
one more thing before wrapping up today.
Yeah,
What do you think if we add a GitHub Actions pipeline so we can run this on CI now?
yeah, sounds good. I
Like
can
a
do that.
very easy
You
pipeline,
want to
yeah.
do it, or should I?
No, you can do it, so we don't have to switch screens.
Okay,
It's like shouldn't take
so
more
let's
than five
probably
minutes.
just test
Yeah,
for now. Let me actually go here. We don't want dependable. No, we don't care about version. So I am really bad at remembering the
yeah,
proper
same.
YAML.
We have either have to ask a copilot or copy one example. Oh, I think I lost you, Mati. Okay, I can't hear you anymore. Oh, so something happened with this basically. Then I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and then three links. Oh, one person. Okay, I don't see you. Uh, so I see that Matthias is. I don't see his tab probably. Let me try calling him here. Yeah, so I basically call him in Discord. Uh, so sorry for that. The stream is working. We don't see Matthias' video, so you can hear me basically. We are about to wrap up. We are just creating the GitHub actions. We had like a momentary, uh, you know, momentary hiccup on the stream. Uh, so let's see if Matthias can join again to the link. Let's see. So give us 2 minutes. We can configure things again in a bit. So Matthias is saying that his machine is dying, basically. He's saying everything that is Chrome-based is dying on my machine right now. Discord is dying again. Okay. Yeah. So like, I don't know, his computer is crazy right now. So I guess, okay, let me wrap it up. Give me 1 second. Okay, so Matthias is going to switch to the main scene. We basically, so to like summarize what we did today, we forked the project, the CD bug. We introduced like a module in like, so seems like Ivan was already starting to Daggerize his project. He was like halfway there. Um, and and then we basically realized that there was some improvement opportunities there. So we first of all use the module, as I said before, to build the Go application. We have the binary, and what else? And then we basically started like doing the test. So we started with the Docker tests. We realized we accidentally introduced a deadlock in our pipeline. It was like not easy to like spot, but easy to fix. And then we were basically wrapping up, creating the GitHub action to be able to run this in CI. So we're gonna finish that off camera, off stream, and then next Friday we're going to continue from there. So we're going to basically show you the GitHub action, and then we are going to continue Daggerizing all the other providers that he has, like Kubernetes, Container-E, and all that. So thank you for joining this Friday of Daggerization with us, and see you next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.